Hello there, and thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel. Well, this business week, I didn't do too much, but I did open up a new position in Qdte. I have about 23 shares there. And from the Roundhill funds of the Qdte and the Xdte, I added a few more shares of each. So I went from 100 shares of the Qdte to about 104. And from the X, I went from 28 shares and approximately the 30 shares that you see there. This screenshot is what happened on Friday, August 23rd, 2024. Those four positions are all I have in my portfolio, and it was all green. AMZ by far was my biggest position at 744 shares. Shout out to the AMZ Army. But you can see everything rebounded today as opposed from yesterday. So I did get an uplift today to help put a dent on what happened on the day before. And with this screenshot, we're looking at the current value of each of my positions. And by far, you can see that AMZ is huge in my portfolio at $14,000, with the second biggest position being the Qdte from Roundhill at about $4,400. I'm really liking these Roundhill funds that pay out weekly. Today was a dividend day for the Q and the X. And you can see the Q, I got $47, and for the X, I got an $11 payment today. And with this screenshot, we're looking at the total gain or loss of each position since I've owned these positions. AMZ is down about $2,000, $1,947. Qdte, I don't really count because I just opened it this week, so it's up a couple dollars. And the Qdte and then the X, I've owned them for about 5 weeks now, and they're still positive even after paying out their weekly dividends. This screenshot is just still the total gain or loss, but just in the percentage, down almost 12% in AMZ. But look at the X, the 30 shares of X, I'm up 4%, the Q up 2%. And then just for full disclosure, here's a screenshot of my four positions. This starting with AMZ, you can see my 744 shares with my average cost of $22 per share. And again, today we made $52 and AMZ up 7 cents. Next is in Qdte, which we just started this week. My average cost is $25.53, and there you can see the 23.5 shares. In Qdte way up today, 72 cents, and I think it was down 72 cents yesterday, so kind of a wash. And then next, the Roundhill funds, here is the Xdte, the 30 shares that I own with an average cost of $50.32. Today we made $20 with Xdte being up 68 cents. And you can see right there, the total gain or loss, well, I'm up $65 even after dividends have been paid out. And then my last position, the Qdte, 104 shares, some average cost $41.96. Today is a pretty good day, definitely up 59 cents, making me $60. And again, the total gain or loss since I've owned this, about $90, even with the dividends paid out. And now jumping back to the total dollar amount for each position. If you were to add up all those positions, you would get $21,077. And if you peek up here to where it says cash and credit, you can see I'm using about $4,900 of Fidelity's margin. So what does that mean? It means if I liquidate or cash out of all four positions, Fidelity is going to get that $4,900 back, and I'll be left with $16,140 cash. And also you can see the portfolio went up about $150 today, or almost 1% at 0.94%. And finally, I've been an investor for about 4 months now, 3.5, 4 months, started in April. You can see my first dividend payout of $15. It kept on increasing with $135 in June, $582 in July. I still have one more Roundhill payment next Friday, but I'm guesstimating my overall dividends for August will be $629. And let's go back to the dividends that I received from Roundhill, the Qdte and the Xdte, about $58. And my initial plan, what I said in my previous videos, was to divide that by 5 for 5 days next week and dollar cost average back into Qdte to build that position up. But I did build that up with about $500 or so, but I want to do a true test to see if we can just hold the NAV. So I still want a dollar cost average, but I want to pick another fund. And I want to pick a fund with a really high yield. And so starting next Monday, I'm going to open a position up in MSTY or MISTY, whatever you want to call it, because it's got a very high yield, a very large dividend. The point being, I'm going to DCA into this thing on a daily basis. So it's going to be about almost $12 a day. I'll get the Roundhill dividends next Friday, whatever that is. I'll DCA that again to the very next week, so on and so forth. So for the first week with that $58, I should get a little bit more than 2 shares, plus or minus, depending on the price of this. My goal doing the DCA on a daily basis is just to stay with the price of the funds. So I'm either not too high or below the price of the fund, even when the dividends are paid out once a month. And then along the way, you know, this working man, I'll throw in a little bit of my own money to increase those Roundhill funds, the X and the Q, you know, $50 here, $20 there. And then I do have that nice position of AMZ, that $14,000 or the 744 shares. That and my small position in Qdte that's going to pay out September 9th, I'm going to be feeding that into the Q and to the X from Roundhill. And then you never know, I might increase my Roundhill funds with some margin. You can see I have that $14,000 at my disposal whenever I want to use it. I'm trying to limit myself to just using $5,000 of margin though. That's today's update. Thanks for watching. And as always, I'm going to see you in the next video.